Well, welcome to a new Dave's Workshop Tours video. In this episode, I'm back at Uncle Leo's in South Melbourne. This time to see one of his COVID builds, which is the son of a former Mark II Granada 2.3 GL owner and lover of the 2.8i Gear X, is quite the love-in. Out back are an assortment of rare and interesting Australian and American cars from the 60s through to the 80s. So let's join Leo for the tour. Okay, Leo, what have we got here?
Well, we've got a Ford Galaxie early 70s. I'm looking at the modification plate. So it's 2010. So it hasn't been here as long as the Bonneville has. It's a right-hand drive again. Big Cleveland engine. Looks like it's got a monster of an engine in it. This car got towed in a couple of weeks back. New client, never seen this car before. I believe he bought it sight unseen. So it needs to roadworthy to get back on the road.
Right, okay.
So we may have to go back to standard with a lot of things.
To get it through the roadworthy?
Correct.
Yeah.
For example, we've got bonnet hinges that are missing. We've got the hood which has been cut. Either a cowl, reverse cowl will have to go in, or a different hood altogether. The wheels are quite large on the back.
Right. That's just not going to... They're not extruding out past the fenders though, are they? What?
No, definitely not.
What? Well, that's not going to pass.
They probably won't pass, no. So there's a lot of things in here that won't pass. Seat belts. We've got the steering column.
But how did it get through its original? Oh, it got changed. Right.
It would have got changed, yeah. It's got that B&M shifter set up, which starts in all the gears. We'll probably have to put a neutral safety switch on it. So it only starts in park and neutral.
Right. And why would you have one that starts in any gear?
Well, these things happen as people play with them over the years.
Right. And what's wrong with the anchor points on the seat
No, just some of them are missing out of the, the lap sash and all that. Probably go a little bit better. Quality ones for today's standards.
And to get this roadworthy,
yes,
it's going to be a costly process, huh?
It will. It'd start from anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000.
Wow.
Which is a lot of money. I'll go up in the air and I'll show you some
Commitment to a
things.
classic import in Australia it's a costly business, eh?
It is. It's always cheaper, guys, to buy one ready to go and then add your little touches to it, rather than starting from the beginning. Even though it's fun to start from the beginning, it can turn into a nightmare. Right. And a lot of people do learn that quickly. Okay, I'll get my little flashlight.
Right, this one really does appeal to me.
This one's a weird car. So this one we bought during lockdown because we had nothing to do. It was a $1,000 rusty old Falcon Fairmont. Oh, wow. And it's a bit of a strange one. It's a 6-cylinder column shift automatic bench car, 6-seater.
Oh, really?
Come and have a look. It's a really weird car. So it's a bench seat column auto Fairmont.
Wow. Yeah, definitely you can see 6 inches in
it's
the
a strange
middle
car
of the Granada influence there.
All right, so this car was just a Fairmont, a beige Fairmont, an ugly beige Fairmont. And so we decided what we're going to do with this car. We were bored. We turned it into an ESP lookalike. So we went the original beige, which is the factory colour for this car. The moulds...
And you would have got that in the ESP pack?
No, no. So a lot of guys are going to laugh at this. The mouldings, we went gloss black, so a little bit more today's kind of look, instead of satin. And then if you come around here, it's a 3-tone car, which is the charcoal.
That charcoal is stunning.
And then you've got gloss black, which was the ESP colours, the mouldings, reproduction. And then you got the wheels were refurbished. If you have a look at the gold though, it's a little bit off from the original ESP. But it looks nice.
It does look great.
So it's a poor man's ESP.
Well, it looks bloody lovely.
Then you got the headlights, which are a lot larger in diameter. The Falcon headlight only went up to there. And the bonnet, which is also shorter to allow the headlight to fit.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you come around the front like you have, we've got a little feature here which is a lip, which came out on ESPs. They're actually very hard to find.
Right.
And the orange stripe. Those number plates are today's numbers, but they've been remade as green and white plates to suit the era of the car.
Sure. What would the Garden State that would have been?
They're the Garden State ones, yeah. You nailed it. And if you come around here, I'll show you a couple of more features. The headrests came out of a Fairlane, which ESPs had rear headrests. They're actually the right colour for those seats.
Yeah, look at that.
Almost like they belong to it.
Yeah. That's a...
the rear glass came out of an S-pack because you needed to have the black surround. And then if you look at the rear end of it, also has the 3 colours, which is the charcoal again, and the charcoal.
And this was done by your now retired paint
Correct,
man,
yeah.
eh?
The real ESP had another little moulding that went right across the back, which is quite hard to find these days. Yeah. So it's not perfect, but it's very, very nice.
So, and you say these cars are now sort of being butchered up between 4 cars to...
If you turn around, that's what needs to happen to make one.
Right.
So this poor fella here was cut in half.
Yeah.
So that was an XD S-Pack, which is quite a popular car.
Yeah.
So what we do is we cut them in half, which allows us to have all the AC parts, steering column linkages and so on. And the XF Falcon, or what was left of an XF Falcon.
All right, here we go.
We used all the air conditioning stuff out of this one for another XE project. So most ESPs, believe it or not, are made out of Fairlanes.
Right.
All Fairlanes get butchered for ESPs.
Ah, gotcha.
Reason being is because they've got electric windows in them. So
Falcon GL.
no, that one's a Fairlane actually.
Oh right, they're just the bonnet, the boot lid.
The boot lid actually belonged to that.
Yeah.
So that's another donor car. A friend of mine, friend of mine, will use this car to finish off his ESP project.
Right.
He has a real ESP. Reason being is this car's got all electric windows and central locking motors in them.
Yeah.
In these doors, and they've actually never been pulled apart.
Yeah. And is this a common rot for these cars?
Common rot because it was sitting in the paddock for a long time.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
So this isn't all you've got.
I've got more. I do have more. Yes.
Right.
It's called a sickness.
Show me.
We'll go into my personal collection. Let me unlock the doors.
Okay. Right, Leo, what we got here?
So when you're here late at night at 2 o'clock in the morning, you need that spare part that you can't buy, it's all in here. This is the kind of junk you have to hold on to. The thing is, you may, for example, throw this diff away, and all you need is a little bracket off there, like a little bracket like this. We could hold up a whole restoration for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
And then you'd have to, the cost of that, finding that again?
It's not the cost of it, it's the time that needs to go into finding it,
Yeah.
So, for example, like this brake line, it's something that you will need at the end of a restoration, forgetting that you didn't order that part or whatever it is, or it got damaged in a process, it's there ready to go.
Okay, what have we got here?
We've got a little collection in here, which have been done over the years slowly.
And these are restorations done by yourself, or?
Yes, personal cars. This is a 1971 VG Valiant 2-door, which has had the roof cut off at some stage in its life, in the 80s, because they used to do strange things like that. Not desirable for everybody though. Beautiful old car.
Yeah. The colour's not original, presumably?
No, definitely not. The seats are not original. The styling is, but not the colour.
So the name is particular to... is this an Australian model or?
This is a Valiant, yeah, which is Chrysler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would it be?
So in America, this car was called a Dodge Dart.
Ah, okay.
So we copied this particular car.
Yeah. And is there any sort of Australianisms to it that they changed?
Yeah, there was, you know, this particular one was called the Regal 770.
But in the way of body styling or anything like
that?
that?
Yeah, the fronts were a little bit different. Obviously, left to right again.
Sure.
The doors were identical. The fronts were different. This is an Australian front. You won't be able to get the camera in there too good.
That's right. There we go. Would they have these indicator lights up there? On the,
that's only in Australia?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll show you what an American one looks like right now, because there's one right in front of us.
Oh, right. Okay.
So this time we've got a 69 VF Valiant, same shape, but this one's sort of half American, half, I was going to say Greek, but for some reason it just came natural on my tongue.
That's all right.
I'll take that one back.
Yeah.
So this is also a chop top. Chop tops they used to call them.
Yeah.
Regal 770.
But originally
a hardtop also.
Oh, right, okay.
This one has a Dodge Dart front on it, but we can't actually see it because they're tucked in so tightly.
But we lost the indicators on
the top. But we've lost the indicators, yes. And it's got some 80s Simmons on it, which are quite popular now, or quite expensive because they're hard to find.
Yeah.
I actually got to do some work on this car soon. So this car will end up in the workshop.
Okay, what needs doing?
Just some leaks, some oil leaks from sitting around for so long.
Yeah, they don't like it, hey?
The usual thing,
Yeah. Okay, what's this one?
We've got a 1971 HG Brougham. My brother brought this car home about 15 or 16 years ago, and I absolutely jumped up and down and cracked it. Because I'm the poor guy who has to fix it all the time. So my older brother owns this car.
He's not a mechanic then, no?
No, he's a chiropractor actually.
Oh, right.
He always tells everyone they're my brother's cars because I'm the guy who has to fix them. So this one's got a little bit of mix and match on it. So it's a HG model. They never came out with the gold on the lower sections. If you have a look at it, they were either silver or black. Even the colour's not original to the car, but it actually suits it perfectly.
There we go. So explain to me about these particular features.
So the car's called the Holden Brougham, which was a extended version. It was a lot longer wheelbase. So it was a Premier, but a longer than a Holden Premier, and it was called the Holden Brougham. It was like the early Statesman luxury vehicle.
Sure.
If you have a look at some of the interior
this
features,
shape is a Holden.
Holden made this car, yeah. It looks like a Cadillac.
Right.
If you have a look at if you come inside, it's got the beautiful brocade interior, which was factory on them, and then you got the Brougham symbol, which is embedded in the armrest. This one's a bucket seat Brougham. They were usually all bench seat.
What years were these made?
They started out 1968 to 1971. They weren't very popular.
Because of cost, or?
No, because they made a long wheelbase car, but the actual legroom in the rear seat was the same as a Premier or a Kingswood, where Fairlane made more legroom.
Gotcha.
So it was a failure.
All right.
Until, obviously...
Are those seats right back?
Yeah, they go back, yeah.
Are they right back now? No, as in...
Yes, they are, yes.
That's bloody hell. Compared to most European cars, that's like a limousine.
It's enough room, yeah, but you know, just people like to complain about strange things, I believe. If you have a look at some of the chrome work, the detail on it, absolutely beautiful. So you got this line work here. Lovely features.
Yeah, right. Sorry, yeah.
This one is a 1968 Holden Brougham. So very, very similar. And this one has a bench seat in it.
And this would have been copied from what in America?
No, not an American car
at all.
It's all Australian. There's a couple of little things that need to be finished off on this car.
So this is the previous model to that?
Correct, yeah.
The measurement. And popularity-wise nowadays, is it?
Now they're popular, yeah. But they come and go. Some people like them, some people don't.
Yeah.
The Monaro, with the two-door Monaro, is a lot more popular than a Brougham.
Sure.
So different market, the Brougham. This one has a bench seat set up in it. Again, it's got all the beautiful features.
Just coming behind you.
So this car here was a HK Brougham. This one came out with a 307 Chev, Canadian block. And then in 1970, Holden started putting their own Holden motors in them, which was a 308. So the first V8 that came out in a Holden, which was a HK, had a Chev motor in it.
Right, okay.
And then Australia made its own version of a V8, obviously, which was a 308 or 253.
The development costs on that for such a small market, it would have been...
Yeah.
I mean, well, I presume that engine went on for use...
No, only on this model, and I believe they used 350s in some of the HQs.
Wow. So they would have lost a fair bit of money then on this...
Yeah, then they started producing their own V8s.
Right. Sounds...
They got beautiful solid doors.
Yeah.
They're not like Fords. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You can hear them. They got beautiful doors. Even this one you can hear it. That one in the corner is the same model as that. There's a matching peg for the weddings.
Oh right, yeah,
which I don't do as much as I used to. But they got beautiful doors.
Yeah.
But even if you have a look at some of the badging, the styling of the badging is absolutely beautiful, which is a Brougham.
Okay, well, an Australian setup wouldn't be complete without a Ute. What have we got over here?
But what are we looking at? The Ute or the Ford?
Ute, first of all.
The Ute, which is very similar, same model as that XE Ute that we looked at, the XE sedan, sorry, ESP mock-up. Again, all these cars were built during lockdown when there was nothing to do. So we drove around pulling a trailer through the country and picking up old wrecks. Wow. Come up fabulous.
You kept yourself busy then.
I did.
Look at that.
So it's the original trim, which is called Sierra Tan. The only thing we did was we added black stitching and black piping to the interior, pulling it.
That is an original interior. It's not been touched.
So the interior is original style, original pattern.
Oh, right.
All we did was the piping and the stitching, we done it in black. And the bottom of the doors have been done in black, just to give it a bit of a newer look.
But the material is original.
The material's original. My motor trimmer said that his dad had it in the shed from the 80s. So it's original Ford trim, yes.
Yeah. That's stood the test of time well, hasn't it?
And the vinyl floor I bought off a gentleman who had it from the 80s as well. As you can see, you know, it needs a little bit of sunlight to sort of mould. It's still very, very new.
That's crazy.
The door frames are painted really nicely on it.
Yeah. Let's hear that door.
Perfect.
Yeah.
For one of those, it's perfect. And it's got a bit of an unusual looking hood, which somebody made that hood.
Is this how you...
That's how I bought it. Somebody made that hood. But it suits this car, if you know what I mean. It wouldn't suit a sedan. But it looks good on that Ute.
Yeah.
And it's got the larger headlights, like the other one I explained.
Okay, and over to the last one, and another Ford, hey?
Another Ford, which does not belong to me, which belongs to a client and a close friend. So this is an XB Falcon. It's got 90 original 1,000 kilometres.
Right.
He's probably owned the car for about 15 years, and he only started driving it about 12 months ago.
Okay.
Because it's been unregistered. So the reason why it's here is for a power steering conversion. So his wife can maybe have a bit of a drive herself. And just some small cosmetic repairs, some tears in the seat.
Size of these seats.
It's in beautiful condition. You can hear the doors there. They've never been tampered with. He actually goes cruising with his family in it. He enjoys it. Beautiful.
Sure. Yeah, 90,000, that's not many at all, is it? For
No. So what he wants to do is put some white wall tyres on it and power steering conversion and just neaten up the seats, get the stitching repaired. And there's a couple of little shopping trolley dents in it, which he also wants to get repaired. I'll show you the engine bay. That's the engine bay, which is the original 250 engine. Pre-cross flow they called these ones.
Does it punt out much power?
Torquey,
Yeah.
very strong though. Reliable.
Sure.
You couldn't break them. You could overheat them, they would lock up, they would cease. Then you'd go back a day later, turn them left and right, put some water and oil in them, and away they went for another 5 years.
Excellent stuff.
They were known for that, so.
Yeah. All right, Leo, thank you very, very much for allowing us access to your places.
Thank you also for having me.
That's been
Thank you
brilliant
very much
to
for
have a
having
look
me
around.
on.
If we can come back and see the progress on some of these jobs that you haven't done.
My
that'd be
pleasure,
brilliant.
anytime.
Great stuff.
Thank you.